Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is October the 12th of 2022. And this story is going to pull at your heartstrings just as much as all the others. But at the end of the day, all these stories being read into dialogue is to remind you, to remind your friends and yourself and your family to please get checked. This story is a married mom of 2 boys and a natural caregiver. The oldest of 3 siblings, which is a nice way to say I take control of a lot of things. I have no control over. I'm also mean that I'm also a caregiver. I'm passionate in helping people. I'm a community supporter. I'm a church member, wish greeter, all the words friends and family have ever used in their life to describe me. I've worked in the healthcare field as an administrator, and I love it. Here is my story. I am a wife and a mother of 2 boys. I am the oldest of 3 siblings, and I've always felt that it was my obligation to live up to those of the oldest sibling responsibilities, which is a nice way to say that I try to control a lot of things I have no control of. But it also means that I'm a caregiver. I've always been passionate about helping people. I've always been a community supporter, a church member, a wish greeter, all of these things that my families and friends use to describe me. I was a candy striper in a hospital that showed me and taught me who I am today. I volunteered in nursing homes before I was old enough to even hold a real job. I even became a Girl Scout, and one of those friends pointed that out to me. Once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout. These are qualities I want my 2 boys to grow up seeing and doing. I want them to be raised helping others without expecting anything in return. I want them to go that extra mile for someone in need. I want to be proud of them. I think there are times when we lose the sense of value as we go through this life. Before diagnosis, I was healthy, and I fell victim to the routine we all get into. You get up, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, you do homework, you go to bed, and you do it all over again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Before I retired, I worked in an academic healthcare organization to one of the largest hospitals in Wisconsin. For 14 years, I fell victim to that work routine. But even though I worked in healthcare as an administrator, I loved it. I went to work, and I only went to the doctor once for a sinus infection or a seasonal cold here and there. One winter, my chest felt really heavy and my back hurt. I went to the doctor that morning. After a quick exam, I was told it was my back that I needed to be seen by a chiropractor. After months of being treated and still having the same symptoms, I sought another opinion. This physician took the time to listen to my symptoms, ordered a CT test which showed an abnormality and immediately repeated that I needed to go to the hospital for an MRI. That night they called me to tell me nothing was pinched in my spine at all, but I needed a follow-up with an oncologist on Monday. My head was spinning. Why do I need to see an oncologist? I only had a CT and an MRI done of my back. By Monday, when it came, the oncologist told my husband and me something that took us weeks to truly comprehend. He said, I believe that you have breast cancer and it has spread to your bones, and it's incurable. What does all this mean? Nobody in my family has ever had breast cancer. I've had my mammograms in the past with no issues. I've only ever had this back pain. Cancer is a group that nobody wants to sign up for, but once you're in it and how you deal with it, that's where you're going to show your true strength. My family had to show our strength when my husband was first diagnosed with cancer and again with his second diagnosis. We turned our strength towards our boys and showed them who we are, that we're going to turn lemons into lemonade. Looking back, that was the best thing for our family. Even though it was the toughest thing we've ever had to face, we're facing it together. It was better than we were able to communicate or to share our concerns and feelings from the very onset. We also learned that there is strength in numbers, and we are very fortunate to have many families and family support in our system. Don't get me wrong, in those early days, I went through the gamut of emotions most of us have gone through, but I soon learned I had a healthcare team that worked for me. They worked with me, and I put my hands and my trust in theirs. My oncologist talked to me about starting a new medical oral treatment, and I did. My doctor and I had been very happy with the results of said treatment plan. However, I have experienced the same side effects of this medicine as many others before me. I'm looking back at where I am today from where I was. A lot has changed. My life was my career. Retiring like at the end was at the end of the world. Now I can't fathom working that much. I am much more active with my kids and in their lives. When I was first diagnosed, I didn't want to see anybody, much less talk about it. I'm done with the love now in sharing my story for others. I described my cancer as a membership to an exclusive club that I have a gold premier lifetime membership. I've paid my dues, as many others, and the only thing that we can hold in return is one for another. Another month, another day, another family, but be there for each other. Again, I realize I can't control my cancer nor that of my husband, but I can control the same thing I've always controlled, is how it impacts my life and how I impact others. Instead of acting like a cancer victim, I'm going out, as is my husband, and we're going to educate metastatic breast cancer, and I'm living out my dream. I don't want to show my boys anything other than there's life after cancer, even if it's terminal. I want them to be proud of what I have accomplished, and what I want them to do is follow in my footsteps and help those that come into their lives. I want them to stay strong for others as they've grown into the fine young men that they have. I no longer say I'm dying with cancer, but rather today I'm living. I'm living a strong, healthy life with stage 5. Even though my diagnosis is incurable, I chose not to live in fear as a terminal cancer patient. I've learned that fear is a choice, and we can choose to cower down to it, or we can stand tall like a mighty lion and confront it head on and not create a spirit of fear. So my husband and I, we have chose that we're going to fight this lion, because nobody knows when their day will come. We don't come with a time stamp on our foot. My husband also has metastatic breast cancer, early detected. And together, we're in this cancer battle together. So that's a couple. So that's one story that I've read so far that has a man, a husband, a son, a father. So the husband and the wife are in this battle together. So I'll see you back in the next video. Remember, get checked.